Disclaimer, I am not a pro at playing Super Mecha Champions. I am not a pro at playing Arthur in Super Mecha Champions. In this video, I am only explaining my own playstyle in playing Arthur in Super Mecha Champions.
So first of all, the skill that I use for Arthur is combat control. So I like to swap every other pilot's skills to the combat control when I'm using Arthur, but you'll see later that I usually use combat control for like 6 other mechas also. So yeah, I use combat control for Arthur and I max the skill to maximize the potential of using this skill. So now let's go to the Arthur himself. Now let's talk about Arthur and how I usually play him. So we're going first to the ability. Let's see. So his battle range is close and mobility is high. He's like the perfect mecha to do a hit and run playstyle. So that's what I do with him. And the door is quite high and shield is also high. The total fuel is gonna be important for my playstyle of hit and run. And let's see. So I guess I'll just be going over this on the training ground and just immediately show it to you. Let's see for the modify. So the cores that I use, the modules that I use. This one I use the lightning blast. It's very good for my playstyle because I don't really rely on the secondary weapon. I rely on his maneuvering ability, and so the paralysis will be very good when I want to hit them with the secondary weapon. So the longer the paralyze is, it will be the better. And then the next one, I use the versatile fighter. So this is very good when you're going in for the melee, and because also the energy conversion is for a higher shield. I don't really want to lose the fuel, so I just use this one. And it's adding shield to you when you're going melee, and that is very important for Arthur because his secondary weapon deals a lot damage, and it's just very good for him for when I use him. And then the next one is power leap. So what I do is I don't really use the velocity for blade because I use it with another attack module that we're going to go after. And what I like to do with Arthur is a very hit and run playstyle, so double leap will be very beneficial. It can make me go over high and taller buildings, and also it can it allows me to dodge a lot of attacks. It allows me also to go above the enemy so that I can hit them from above their heads. It's very good because when the height is increased in his jumps, you can also kind of confuse the enemy by making the thing like, where did he go? Because you move so fast that you can't really see him. That's what I usually use. And then the next one is for core modules. I don't prefer this one because I like to adjust my playstyle accordingly. Like, so his normal jumps, his normal charge is one long distance charge. And if you get this core, then you get 3 short distance charges. So that way you have to adjust again on the way you play him, and I don't really like that. It's like I like to get used to how I play a mecha, and because his normal charging is the long distance one, I already get used to it. And if I had to change it again to a 3 short distance charges, it's going to be kind of confusing for me when I play it. Because if you, and also even though this changes his charge to a 3 short distance, it's going to lose a lot more fuel. Like if you have the single long distance one, you use this percent of fuel for one long distance charge. But if you use the 3 short distance one, you lose 3 times of the fuel to get the same result as the long distance charge. So I prefer this core instead. This is very good also if combined with the paralysis. It gets the enemy paralyzed easier because the movement, the attack, and the blade recovery speed is also increased. So overall, this is the best one, the best core for me to use in my playstyle of Arthur. Now let's go to the other modules. So this is the fact that I use. First, let's go over the attack ones. And now, because I'm using him long range and also melee, I have both long range and melee damage increased. I use Hyper Fire. This is just mainly it's for you can use this stack in solo or squad mode. For squad mode, you can help your friends if you're dealing with long range enemies. So this is long range damage increase and shot velocity increase. For the shot velocity, it increases the chances of getting the enemy hit by your attacks easily. So the enemy is going to be it's going to be difficult for the enemy to dodge your attack more because of how fast your attacks goes. So I use this one, and you can also like poke enemies from afar. The thing is with Arthur, his mecha is mainly for melee purposes, but using this Hyper Fire, you can actually poke them from afar, and then after that going in front of them with melee. And then the next one is melee, of course. This is a short range damage increase and damage bonus versus shield increase. Of course, this is for his melee attack. You're going to need this for his secondary weapon. Especially, it's going to be very powerful to end the enemy's mecha using his secondary weapon. It's going for the kill. This one, this stack is for. So the damage bonus versus shield. It's very good for both the poking and for going in on the melee. I just use this basically to just make it easier for me to lower the enemy's HP. And then this one is Rapid Mag. So what I like to do with Arthur is I maneuver him a lot. I do a lot of dashes, a lot of jumps, a lot of running around, I guess. Like I hit the enemy and then I move to another place and then hit them again. So with the secondary weapon recovery, it's very good because you can actually use his secondary weapon to move around. Because his secondary weapon has an added dash to it, so you can actually move around more with secondary weapon recovery. This module actually increases Arthur's flexibility and movement, so I use this one. And for reload rate, this is very good for Arthur's primary attack because it loads a bit slow. The attacks are a bit slow, so reload rate is going to be good for the playstyle that I use. And then let's go over the defense ones. Impact armor, increased dur and short range duration. So for Arthur, he already has quite a good dur, I guess, but I like to be more tanky than that when I'm going for his melee attack. So I increase his dur and short range. The air is reduced damage from enemy within 50 meters. So while you're going with a long range with Arthur, you already have your flexibility, so you don't really need a long range DR because you can dodge and avoid the long range attacks from enemies. But if it's a melee, then you will need this short range DR because going in there, people usually target you a lot when you're in the front row of the battles. So this will be very beneficial for him to use because you're reducing the damage from the enemy within 50 meters, but your attacks are increased with this melee attack module. So it's going to be very good for him. And then the next one is improved fuel tank. So his dashes and his jumps takes a lot of fuel. So that's why I need these two modules to go for Arthur. First one is max fuel. I added max fuel for him. It will do a lot of benefits to use this to run around, and fuel recovery is very good because you can do some cooldown with his fuel, but it recovers fast. So this is just very good for my playstyle. This is also the same. I emphasize more on the fuel recovery just because like his fuel recovers very kind of slow. So that's why I use two modules with fuel recovery to get it to recover faster, I guess. Because I will need to move a lot in the battles to use his jumps and his dashes a lot. And then next is movement speed. This also is very beneficial for my hit and run style using Arthur, because using movement speed, fuel recovery, I like to make it easier for the enemy to track my Arthur's movement. So this is the whole modules that I use: Hyperfire melee, rapid mag, impact armor, improved fuel, and concurrent power supply. Now let's go over to the training ground and I will show you how I usually use my Arthur in combat. So here we are in the training ground and let's go and call Arthur. Where is he? Here he is. Now we're using Knight's core for the his core, using the second one. So how I usually play him, let's go and see Arthur. I jump a lot and I dash a lot, going in for the kill after. And if they're getting near, let's go jump back and let's hit them. Move around here, go here, and then jump here, go around here, and then hit them. After that, you can just go and near again. If you want to run away, you can run away using his secondary weapon. Go back again from the wrong range attacks. Go back again. When you see him paralyzed, when you see the enemy paralyzed, I usually go in for his secondary weapon after that. Uh, the modules for a faster movement is going to be better for him, because when your combat skill is on cooldown and you don't really have your secondary weapon anymore, you're going to be stuck in his kind of slow walking. That's why you will need the faster module for him. And then I usually like to double leap in front of the enemy like this, so it's going to be easier for me to attack him, but harder for him to attack me, and then going for a backstab on the enemy. You go up and you go move around if he found where you are, and then after that you go in and go for the kill behind. Go back and run. That's how I usually play him. A lot of jumping, a lot of running around, poking from afar. And when he is paralyzed, go near. You can go up again. You can go attack the other enemy near you. Go back again. Basically a lot of running. I really use his hit and run tactics for Arthur. You can see now that his jumps takes a lot of fuel. See? And you can't actually jump more than twice in one setting. But you can do this, and then it will hold you in the air. But yeah, getting more double jump height is going to be more beneficial if you're going to go like on top of more buildings, I guess. Because when you're dealing with enemies using Hurricane, Gabriel, Andromeda, Aurora, those mechas that can hover or jump or glide like Raven to a lot of higher places, you will need more height in the double jump. I'm just very, I guess I'm very versatile in using Arthur. So you can see if you're going for long range on Arthur, the shot velocity really helps because it's going to be harder for the enemy to dodge you. And you can also predict the movement of the enemy. The reload module also helps a lot to recharge your primary weapon. You can jump from afar, and if someone is attacking you, you go back, run using your secondary weapon, move, and then hit again, and go jump, and then you go move again, and go for the kill. And that's how I use Arthur. A lot of maneuvering, playing around, go using his dashes. It's the dash is especially beneficial if you're going for a melee, and you're going, and the enemy is going to hit you with melee also. And you jump, you go back from here, go behind and backstab the person. See, you go jump, confusing him where you were. They'll be like, wait, where did he go? No, I'm on top of you. So that's it. That's how I use Arthur. A lot of running around, a lot of jumping, attacking, and maneuvering with his secondary weapon. That's how I use Arthur. That's why all those modules are very good for my playstyle of him. That's it for Arthur's, for my playstyle of Arthur. See you in the next video.